like this. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Verse and the songs of my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers and the way to rise beyond the pain. All live in me. Here we go. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the smiles of all the unborn children and the dreams of a better day to come, and the dance of heaven with the earth all live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Woo-hoo! Oh, so cool.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second half of the year. They just fly by, I tell you.
When you put it that way.
Good morning. My name is David Burke, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees and our awesome practitioners, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. You will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of our programs, you will find our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reading them now. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers today? Or anyone who would want to be known as a first-timer? Okay. I would like to thank all the people that make this Sunday celebration special. And first of all, it's all of you. Because this place is special. And it is that way because of all of us. So thank you for that. There's also others that do so much. I just want to say it's great to see Susan back. Yeah. Very short. She does amazing. So thanks, Source, for that. Let's see, where was I? And all the other people who help on everything that we do here. It's really appreciated, and we thank you for that. Please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcements and events calendar.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Louise, and I am your practitioner today. And as religious science practitioners, we pray for those who request prayer and provide a loving and supporting atmosphere of listening and working things through with you. We do this all through affirmative prayer and by assisting you in making changes to your life by changing your consciousness. So if you would like prayer this week, we have a prayer request box over there. Please feel free to write down what you would like prayer for, put it in the box. And it's also the first Sunday of the month, and so I am happy to do a 1 to 2 minute prayer with you after service. So I light this candle knowing that each of us does have a light within us, and that light is God. So let's all take a moment and just center, take a deep breath. And I know I stand in the recognition of the one power, the one presence, and the one life. I call it God, and acknowledge that it is at the very center of all that there is. Recognizing that it is everywhere present at all times, I accept that it is present right where I am. Knowing this truth for myself, I know it for and about each person here today. Right now, right where we are, God is. It is from this awareness that I speak the word peace. I speak peace. I give peace. I receive peace. I live peace. This is a peace that comes from deep within, the knowing that God is the foundation upon which each of our lives stands. And I know today that there is peace in each of our hearts as we recognize that this service is already unfolding with peace, exactly as it is meant to be. I know there is peace for all here today, and I know that there is peace and love for Donna, whose wisdom teaches and inspires us. And together we say, and so it is. So the topic today, this Sunday, is knowing, or I should read it. It is the gifts of imperfection. And so my talk is on embracing imperfection. I don't want to admit that I'm imperfect here, by Rose Zanetti. So most of us will acknowledge that perfection is unachievable. But acknowledgement doesn't equal action. As likely as we are to declare in one moment that nothing is perfect, we might find ourselves straining toward perfection in the next. If we're honest, how often do we find ourselves regarding our bodies, our work, our relationships, and the state of the world as maybe not good enough? For me, the answer is more than I care to admit. Mary Oliver wrote a poem called The Wild Geese, and it's a reminder that our imperfections are okay. The poem goes like this: you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. So I don't have to live my life in a constant state of guilt for my failures. I grew up Catholic, and I really relate to who wrote this, because I grew up Catholic, and this is also true. And my conclusions of church teachings and my mother's influence had me tirelessly chasing Christ-like standards for most of my childhood. God was watching. Sin is bad. Do no wrong. Goodness equaled purity, equaled perfection. I found myself in constant pursuit of perfect behavior, perfect grades, and perfect relationships. Inevitably failing to achieve these, I failed God and the world, and found myself navigating deep-seated, often paralyzing guilt and shame. In this face of my apparent mediocrity and insufficiency, I struggled to feel at home in the world. I projected my expectations of and disappointment in myself outwardly, and as we all know, that's what we draw to us, whatever we're projecting there. And I struggled with anyone or anything that didn't measure up to my idea of good, and I have to admit I still struggle with that. But just as acceptance doesn't ask that we relegate ourselves to stagnation, embracing imperfection doesn't ask that we settle for less than. It simply encourages us to ask the question, why? Why strive toward the unachievable end that is perfection? If we find our answer has more to do with avoiding judgment, as was the case for me, we might question the idea's usefulness. If instead we find our hearts stirred to pursue our most wholehearted vision of life, then we might find benefit in gently using the ideal as mindful motivation. When we see perfection for what it is, an imaginary ideal, not a destination, we loosen its tyranny over our lives. Through the lens of perfectly imperfect mistakes, flaws, and the shortcomings of others, and the world suddenly becoming good, even desirable. We welcome the opportunity to learn and grow both on our own and in community. We cultivate connection and holding space for the perfect imperfection of everyone, recognizing we all have a place in mindfully working together toward common ideas. The strengths and supposed flaws of each individual serve the whole. We affirm our belonging in a universe where nothing is static. Simply being human and opening to wholeheartedness matters as much as any ideal. Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I am imperfect and I am vulnerable and sometimes afraid, But that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. What possibilities await with this affirmation? Perhaps we honor the callings of our heart, even if they feel risky. While we might not eradicate feelings of shame or disappointment, we can mitigate them as we recognize these two belong in perfect imperfection. Perhaps we readily step into something that used to make us feel vulnerable, trusting in how it might serve us not only beyond the moment, but in the moment as well, opening us to opportunity for growth. Mistakes become desirable, and flaws become beautiful. Namaste. So I take this candle and hold the high watch for each and every one of you during service and the whole week.
This is a song by Jamie Lula. I think it's Floyd Lula. No, I think it might just be Jamie. And it's called There Is Nowhere That God Is Not. And it's a big reminder. I know I needed this reminder this week, so there has to be someone out there who needs this too. Sometimes I forget where I come from. Sometimes I forget where I'm going to. Sometimes I get so confused I lose my way. Sometimes I know you feel the same. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. Everywhere I am, I know what I got. Sometimes I believe what I say. Sometimes I believe what I perceive. Sometimes I get so confused I lose my way. Sometimes I know you feel the same. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. Everywhere I am, I know what I got. I forgot to pray, forgot to be still and know. I forgot to forgive myself until I forgave myself. I forgot to ask for help, forgot to say a word. I forgot to believe in me, believe in my spirit. Well, there is nowhere where God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. Everything I am, I know what I got. Everywhere I am, I know what I got. Everywhere I am, I know what I got. Yeah. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning. Well, welcome what did David say, the last half of the year. It's like kind of scary, you know. Our theme for July is the gifts of imperfection, and I'm kind of, sort of following the outline from. We'll see. But the gifts of imperfection is the title of a book by Brené Brown, and in it, she says that when we recognize our imperfections and share them with someone we trust, we alleviate the shame that accompanies our experience. And I love what Louise read this morning because it's an absolute perfect introduction to what I'm talking about today. You know, we've all had those shaming experiences. When I was a little girl, I was petrified of public restrooms. I knew I was going to get stuck in it and I couldn't get out. So if I had to pee, I held it until I got home. And that worked in kindergarten. But when I was in first grade, I had an extra hour of class. And one day at recess, I was trying to hold it, but I leaked a little bit and wet my dress. When I came in from recess, the teacher noticed and made me stand up in front of the register for my dress to dry. 20 giggling children watched as my face turned red, my cheeks so hot I thought they were going to explode, and of course, I finally couldn't hold the rest of it, and I peed all over the floor. And those giggles turned to guffaws. And so from that point, I could never stand in front of a crowd. If we had to give a report in school, my legs would shake so hard you could see them from the back of the room. And my mouth was always as dry as cotton. Years later, I walked through that experience with a therapist. We even imagined getting stuck in a bathroom stall and crawling out under the door together. And I can still recall the shame, but in a way, it made me more resilient. For while I hated the teacher, and while I still think she could have been a little more compassionate in her choices for me, I have forgiven her, I have forgiven myself, and I have forgiven those giggling first graders. Obviously I have, or I wouldn't be here. So today our topic is perfectly imperfect, and we're going to explore how the need to be perfect often interferes with our need to belong or our need to live a meaningful life. But at first I think there's some explanations that are in order, because we say we are whole, perfect, and complete. And we are at the level of the absolute. But our human selves live in the world of duality. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is a metaphor of our unfoldment as human beings. It is not factual, nor does it prove that we are born in sin. It is the story, as my mentor and friend Reverend Arthur Chang puts it, of the absolute falling into time. We believe that there is one divine intelligence from which we are birthed. We know that this intelligence is perfect and that its attributes are love, peace, joy, harmony, and that our very essence is all of these things. So the Garden of Eden represents our essence, our true nature, our perfect self. And it is also true that we are human beings living in the world of time, of duality. We experience pairs of opposites like joy and sorrow, love and hate, peace and chaos, happiness and sadness. These represent the fruits of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the turning from our true essence to the experience of duality. This is the one experienced as the many. This is the absolute falling into time. So when we experience pain, suffering, anger, sadness, we have turned ourselves out of the garden. It's not a time to be harsh with ourselves. But if in a moment of silence we can remember who we truly are, the garden is there for our solace, for our nurturing, for our healing. As human beings, we bridge heaven and earth. Jesus put it so beautifully when he said, I am in this world, but not of it. Sometimes we're in this world, and sometimes we're not of this world. We go back and forth all the time. There is a part of us that is in this world, the world of duality, but then there is within us that which is so much more, so much greater. Then when we catch even a glimpse of it, we know that heaven does exist, and it exists in our hearts and on this earth. And we become the torchbearers of both worlds. We've been given this gift of life in all of its mystery. We are expressions of the absolute, expressions of the one. Our eternal nature is divine, and we are forever dancing between our divinity and our human frailties. In the world of duality, we have choices and beliefs which have become a part of us. I carried that first grade experience well into my adult life, and it affected my self-worth. Every time I made a mistake or did something stupid, I would go back to that place of shame. And that made it even more important that whatever I said or did had to be perfect. I couldn't make a mistake. It would bring me to that place of shame. And that's the kind of perfection that we're talking about today. In her book, The Dance, Oriah Mountain Dreamer is struggling with this dance between heaven and earth. And she asks the question, I want to know why I am so infrequently the person that I want to be. And from her deep inner self that comes to her in dreams from those she calls the grandmothers, she finds she has asked the wrong question. The question, they tell her, is not why are you so infrequently the person you want to be? The question is, why do you so infrequently want to be the person you really are? If we already have within us everything we could ever want, then we don't have to strive to be anything. But the question, why are we afraid to be the person we truly are, begs the answer, because we don't trust who we really are. Deep inside, our doubts tell us that we're not enough. So the first thing that you and I have to do if we're having any of these feelings is to put down the club. This imaginary weapon that is as painful to our psyche as a real one is to our bodies. The one we beat ourselves over the head with in our silent moments when we're thinking, I should have done that. I'm so stupid, I can never get it right, whatever it is. And most of us are harder on ourselves than we could ever be to anyone else. So we need to learn to be gentle with ourselves, to see ourselves with all of our warts, our inadequacies, and to know with all of that, we are still magnificent, and at the core, we are still perfect. And perhaps one of the best ways to do this is to look at our life, and all life really, as a process, rather than a series of specific events. When we concentrate on a specific event, we tend to form conclusions around it. We tend to judge it. So when specific events or goals are not reached, we see ourselves as failures. A process has no beginning and it has no end. Rather, it is the journey we are taking. The Yaqui shaman Don Juan told Carlos Castaneda, there is no destination, there is only the path. Just be sure your path has a heart. And author Ursula Le Guin says, it is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end. So if we can see our whole life as a process or a journey, our unrealized goals, our seeming failures or mistake, take on a different perspective. They are woven into a bigger tapestry, that forms our life. And what we had deemed a failure may now be seen as a vital thread in that tapestry. My friend and mentor, Dr. Arthur Chang, writes, "The goal is not the goal, but the universe's enticement for you to be what you are. It is not what you get, but who you become in getting that matters." You know, while I believe that having goals are necessary, seeing our life as a process to be lived and loved rather than a series of events to be attained allows us to relax into that fluidity of spirit. If we truly trust the process, we remain flexible and open to the gifts of each present moment. And we can see that even in that imperfect moment, it will lead us to something greater than we were before that imperfect moment happened in our life. In her dream, the grandmothers told Oriah, "Your true nature is compassionate, and this essential nature makes you capable of being intimately and fully present. Who you really are is enough." When we learn to be gentle with ourselves, then we can be more fully present to life. You know, throughout his writing, Ernest Holmes talks about our willingness to have a good-natured flexibility to life. And he says, "I do not think we should make such a claim to divinity that we forget we are human. For our humanity proclaims the creativity of the divine. Human we are, doing the best we can and ever seeking a fuller realization of our source. Our experience is filled with laughter and tears, singing, dancing, praying and exalting, and sometimes falling into the depths of despair. We need to have a good-natured flexibility toward all that we encounter." So it's when we are inflexible with ourselves, with others, with our experiences, that we experience the pain of separation from our source. Coming back to that good-natured flexibility, we can be fully open to the gifts that life presents to us. And if we are flexible with ourselves, we can be flexible and therefore fully present with others. And know that it's true that we are all doing the best we can. When we can look through the flaws within ourselves to our own divinity, then we can look through the flaws of others into theirs. Our compassionate self, our essential nature, shines through without our striving to be loving, without our striving to be perfect. Oriah Mountain Dreamer says, "What grandmother is telling me is true, that who we are by our essential nature is enough, that we are right now, in this moment, capable of being compassionate and fully present in intimate relationships with ourselves, the world, others, and the mystery. That we are all we need to be by our own nature, that there is no need for self-improvement, that we live our deepest soul's desires, not by intending to change who we are, but by intending to be who we are. There's no need for self-improvement, for the capital S self has nothing to improve. We simply need to know that and allow it to be revealed through us. When we have dropped the club of self-criticism, when we are gentle with ourselves, then we can begin to live who we truly are. And our choices, our responses to life, reflect that gentleness. We will find ourselves, as scriptures tell us, looking for the good and praising it, both in ourselves and in others. We will find that our step is lighter and that our trust is stronger. We will see in others our own frailties and love them all the more for them, for what we are seeing is beyond the appearance to the divinity that we both are. We will know that the kingdom of God on earth and the kingdom of God in heaven are one, and they exist at the center of our being. For we are that absolute that has fallen into time. We are God expressing uniquely and wonderfully in this little human overcoat. Ernest Holmes tells us it's normal to have faith, it's natural to believe in God, it is right to love people and good to praise everything, because hidden in everything is a seed of perfection. The great experiment is in our own mind, here, in the integrity of our own soul, in the simplicity of our own heart. We can prove what the ages have longed for, lived for, and prayed for. That at last, though we may not have known it and the world has not suspected it, divinity has temporarily clothed itself in humanity. So this week, let's put down that club of self-condemnation with good-natured flexibility. Let's be gentle with ourselves, and as often as possible, be fully present in our experiences. And let's embrace the fact that each and every one of us are perfectly imperfect. Thank you. Namaste.
How many of you have heard this one, I Don't Have to Be Perfect by Karen Drucker?
I haven't.
1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Let's give it a try. Let's stand and let's sing. You guys can be my ringers, the ones who have heard it before. All right. So the chorus goes like this. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. That's it. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. It started in the 3rd grade. The teacher said, let's sing and have some fun. So I let her rip, I let it wail and she said, why don't you just hum? For so many years, I squished my voice thinking I was wrong. Till then one day I learned the truth, and now I sing this song that says, I don't have to be perfect, I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. Now I'm older and wiser, I don't really care what people say. If someone thinks I'm not perfect, I just bless them on their way. Life's too short to be judgmental. Take a break, have a good time. And if you're struggling with this issue, raise your voice with mine and sing. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. Isn't that fun?
That's fun. You picked some good ones. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it's time for our offering. And I ask that you join me in our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. There we go.
This closet.
Nope, we don't.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, David. Okay, thank you very much. And of course, I thank each and every one of you for your generosity that allows us to be a beneficial presence in the community and to keep this center going. It's thriving. I can't remember a time in July where we've had this many people. So, and they told me that yesterday there were 10 guys at the men's breakfast. 10 guys in July. That's a lot. So, and I do want to say, we're so grateful to have Susan back, but also I want to thank Amy and Kathy for stepping in. It's so amazing how people just automatically step up when there is a need. So this is what we've created here, and I'm very proud and happy to be part of this family. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and please join us for refreshments. And by the way, what David said about retirement, this is not happening right away. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have this place to come to on Sunday. But it is something that we do have to plan for, and I'm just so grateful that the board is taking that responsibility so that we won't get caught short if we suddenly have to call in a minister from the other side of the world to candidate. You know, this is what the process is, quite extensive. I've been through it, and so anyway, I thank David for announcing that, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm still here. Okay, so with that, let's just know that there is one divine intelligence that is whole, perfect, and complete. It is the true nature of who and what we are. And so right now, I just know that each one of us is experiencing that magnificence that is uniquely our own. That we are experiencing the love, joy, truth, beauty, and harmony that is who we are. I speak a special word today for Rosie, and know that right where she is that power of God, that healing, whole power of God. And it's at work in every cell and fiber of her being. And I know that for each person who may not feel completely physically fit, to know that's true about them as well. I speak my word for anyone who's experiencing any kind of discomfort, from a sore throat to a war. And again, know, right where they are, God is. I give thanks that I'm a part of this beautiful spiritual family, and that as we pray together, we do know that we are very powerful as we manifest those things we declare. And so it is. So may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy.